Rick Shaw here on the 31st of January, 2023. My sweetie and I just got back from the Batanga City immigration. Super nice folks down there. One thing that I've run into anytime I've dealt with immigration, they're real professional, and they're just all seems to be super nice people. We were in and out of there in no time. We had a good ride. The bike has loads of power. I did have some issues starting off, and I think both of them are taken care of. One of them was like the fueling was off in first gear, and I think that might have been because the gas was old. So I ran all the gas out, and then we filled it up. It's about $15 to fill it up, and it was down. It was blinking, so it was down pretty good. The gearbox, a little clunky between first and second. Once the oil got hot, that was over with. It shifted smooth as could be. I've always loved the middleweights. This thing's got gobs of power, guys. All you can want. Enough power to keep you happy, and not enough power to get you in trouble, is what I say. My wife was just grinning ear to ear, riding on it. There's some things about it I would change. One thing I would absolutely do on this one, I'd probably drop a tooth on the front sprocket. Just in the slow traffic. It's easy to balance. The problem with the oversteer and the top-heavy feel, that was all had to do with the tires. Once the tires were on here, you could almost be at a dead stop and stay on two wheels. As long as you're rolling a tiny bit forward, it stays up, no problem. So it's very sensitive to the tires. But I still would, for the traffic around here, I'd drop a sprocket or come up two in the back. Something like that, just to give it that little bit of lower end in first gear, so you're not riding the clutch. One thing I wouldn't touch on it, I would not touch that seat. That's probably the best, other than my Honda 750 and bikes I had, back in the day. I wouldn't touch the seat. It's perfect. It holds you in good. It's real comfortable, and I wouldn't change it. The handlebars, it was like a drudgery. It just made your arms tired. They need some adjustment on there. I think the bend in them is a little bit too much. I believe that's for a smaller rider, but somebody like Wes and me who's wide, no good. The front is nice for the cushion, but if you have to hit the brakes hard, it takes it all the way to the bottom of suspension. So I'm going to kick the preload up on that a little bit and kick the damping up today just a little bit. I don't want to lose that nice smooth ride going over the speed bumps or anything. But we had some Nimrod pull in front of us. We were on a wide straightaway, and instead of coming to the turning into the right-hand lane like I thought she was going to do, she just veered way out into my lane, and we had to hit it pretty dang hard to haul this thing down, but it stopped perfectly. It just took it all the way down to the bottom of the suspension, so that preload's got to go up. Not a whole lot I would monkey with it. I mean, the frame seems really good. I didn't feel any major flex in the frame at all when I was riding it. We hit some pretty good speeds, and I was wrong. It has anti-locks in the back too. There's the little anti-lock thing. I missed seeing that yesterday. But I was the power on it's good. It reminds me of my SV650. Now that one, I think in a race would probably beat it by a bike length or two, something like that. It seemed to have just a little bit more because it was a lot less weight. But this thing holds the road well. We were going through some of the turns going down to Batanga City. It just takes them. We had a little bit of a sprinkle rain when we started, but that quit. One thing you got to watch when you're driving around here, watch for, it seemed on every corner there was a cat squished over that way. You don't want to hit that. You'll lose your front end if you don't. Plus the potholes and gravel. A lot of these trucks driving around hauling stuff are dropping sand and gravel all over the road. So you have to be real careful of that too. But fantastic bike. I bet you Faye won't want to get rid of it if we ride it some more. She wants to take a trip to Mindoro on it, and we're thinking, okay, we'll do that. Grandma will come and watch the kids, get them off to school, and we'll go down for a couple days to Mindoro and just ride around down there and check it out. So that's really good. But again, guys, with getting your visa stuff, I only ever ran in one time where I saw a real jerk in the immigration. That was when I was going to Manila. This guy was I think he was drunk. He was in there, he was shooting his mouth off real loud, and finally a couple security guards came over and said, "Sir, you gotta leave." And we were like, "Good, get this jerk out of here." He was such a jerk. These are super nice people down there. Smile, get your stuff done. They're going as fast as they're going to go, and we had no problem today. 3 people handled my stuff. We were in and out of there so quick. We stopped and got something to eat. I was worried we wouldn't be back in time. And coming home, I said, "Oh, we got plenty of time. It's only after 8." So it took us. It didn't even take us an hour to get down there, and we cruised down there. Hit some nice speedy straightaways where I could give it some gas. Be careful of the dogs here, guys. They're just everywhere. They pop out, little old men shuffling across the road. Even though there's crosswalks and stuff, they just angle across the road. So you have to watch for that. But coming home, we just lollygagged, took it easy. I kept it in the economy mode, and there's a speed mode. And I'll tell you what, just in economy mode, giving it gas, this thing was up and gone. It's got really good torque figures. The one thing it doesn't like is anything below 3,000. Get her in first gear, and if you got to do just slow speed, keep it up above 3,000 in first gear instead of shifting to second and trying to lug it. It does not like it. It doesn't like it at the low end. Once you get her wound up and going, man, this thing really goes. I don't know what's up with that. Okay, there's a big one in there. There's the adjustments on there. Got all your adjustments in there for your damping and everything. Preload, there's their little rubber stopper. Bottom is out, but there's the preload. We'll have to get that turned up a little bit. Not the back, but the front. But guys, it's really cool. I'll give you a real good look at it. The looks of it really grow on you. I just like it. I believe it's the Kawasaki, like the Versys. It's about the same motor. But like I say, it does got a lot of ground clearance on it. It does handle a lot better than I thought. It was tires coming over here, my first report on it. But going around corners and anything, just lay this thing over. Lay it over. You can lay it over all day. I'm sure you could easily scrape the pegs on this, even though it sits high. It just wants to turn. It likes it. I was always a good one for trail braking. And coming into some of them corners, trail braking with this one, because it pushes the suspension down. That makes it real nice. If I was doing a track day, I would definitely want that. A little bit more than it is now, but you could do a track day on this bike, guys. You could. I did track days on my SV650. I had 2 of those. I had a bone stock one that just had some spring work done, same valving and everything from stock, no adjustments anywhere, just heavier springs for my weight. Loved that bike. And then a fellow at the track, he had an SV650 and he just had to sell it. He was spending too much money every weekend at the track because it's expensive, guys. And his wife was complaining and everything, and he had another bike, that he was riding to work on, another SV. And he asked me if I wanted to sell it, and he basically sold it to me for what he paid for the base bike. Not all the stuff he put on, but he had the computer redone, and he had the 600, the Gixxer front end. The whole front end was completely swapped out to the Gixxer with all the adjustments, the big extra brakes, and all that stuff. Tires on it I had to replace because they were shot when I got it. But, it was a fantastic bike I took that to track days. I had a Buell Ulysses that I probably could have done well on the track, but I just didn't want to take a chance on dumping it. I never did dump at the track. Somebody said, "That's because you ain't pushing it." Well, that's right. I still did pretty good, but I never wanted to drop my beautiful Buell. That was my favorite bike. We got a Yeah, we'll get in here and we'll check everything out. I want to make sure the oil's good and clean. So that's about it for today. But it says different things. It says 650 MT over here, and I think on the back over here it said something else. CF Moto 650 3C. So who knows? They got a bunch. Maybe that's all the stickers they had. That's for sure. But checked the tires this morning too before I left, just to make sure they were still on and didn't seep any out. And no, they were right on the button. So that's about it. I got the motor on my head today, so I figure I'd let you know. I'm going to keep doing an ongoing review. Next time we go for a ride, I'll take the camera. And this is really nice because I can get a couple helmets in here. I got all my stuff in there. I never did like a top rack because it's too hard to swing your leg over. But this, I wouldn't take it off. I would just leave it there because it's nice to have this up. I'm right here. I'm right here to do stuff. So it's really cool. Got all the paperwork in there. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go, guys. And this is Rickshaw out.